Hello, can you hear us?
I can hear.
I'm not talking to you, Paul. Move towards me a little bit more, Paul. Cuddle up, nice and
You've got
cozy.
your leg there.
I'll move towards you then. Can you hear us? Hello, Caroline.
Hello, Caroline.
Can you let us know that you can hear us? Hi, Motton. Can you let us know that you can hear us? That would be good.
There we are, hearing you
loud and clear.
Fantastic.
Thank
Hi, Gillian, Craig.
Hello, Craig. Hello, Gillian.
There we are, people piling in.
We're just going to wait for people to arrive and say hi. Hello, Monica. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Stevie Weavy.
I like that.
Stevie Weavy. So welcome. It's Sunday morning.
It is. Yeah.
Thank you, Reva's mum. I'm glad you can hear us all. That's excellent. Hello, Anita. Hello, Lolly.
It feels much later than it
hello,
is.
Becky.
Doesn't it?
Paul, shush now. I'm saying hello to everybody.
I know, but I'm talking to you. You can do two things at once.
You know the rules of the game. Don't talk across each other.
Oh yeah, that's true. Don't talk across each other.
Paul always breaks that rule.
Oh look, my hair's sticking out there.
Well, it's always sticking out, Paul. You're permanently scarecrow-like.
I could be like one of those dogs.
Where's my book?
Basset hound.
Shush
Basset
now.
hound.
Where's my book?
I gave it to you.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
May I suggest you find it, Paul?
I gave it to you.
Do wait one moment, please. Hello, Diana. Hello, Nicole. Hello, Siggy. Hello, Linda. Hello, Marion. Hi, Rue. We've lost the book.
You've lost the book. I had it in my hand a minute ago.
Right, can you just go and find it, please, Paul?
I can't find it.
Just bear with. Paul picked my book up and has actually put it somewhere and lost it now. Borada, Jill, hello, Cheryl, hello, Mary, hello, Debbie. I don't know where the book is. Paul's picked it up and walked off with it somewhere and it's disappeared. I don't know about you, but this happens to me all the time. I think we have some kind of...
I can't see it.
Right, Paul, say hello to people.
There it is, there.
Well, behind me's no good, Paul. Hello, Cameron. Hello, John. Hello, Sheila. We found it, look.
Yes, so I had given it to you.
You put it behind me, for goodness sake. I don't have eyes in the back of my head, contrary to popular belief.
Absolutely, you very often do. God, yes, I'm doing something and then, don't put it there!
Shush now, Paul. Calm down, he's out of control this morning.
I've had 3 teas.
Well, I have as well. I tell you, that caffeine's really kicking in now. Yeah. So good morning and welcome. We've got 62 people with us at the moment. I mean, that's a small venue, isn't it? It's like a church hall. Venue. It's like a church hall. Welcome. Prayers with Richard and Paul.
No, definitely not.
No, that's not going to happen.
No, not gonna
Good morning, Sarah, Anita, Diana, Louise.
Actually, Jill, I've been doing a lot of taping of big things, so I could quite have easily put it into them and then tape them across.
I tell you, if things aren't strapped down, they get free cycled in this house. Paul, just before you get settled, would you reach over and get my cashmere hand warmers? Thank you, because my hands are bloody cold. I tell you, I've learned a little tip this morning for everybody. In a cold house, if one is doing the housework, as one has been doing this morning, rubber gloves keep the hands warm.
Oh.
They do.
So what about a full-on rubber suit? Would that keep you warm?
Paul, I don't think this is the time or the place for talking about full-body rubber suits.
Did you have to put talcum powder into the rubber
gloves? No, I
just
just blow them.
Do you? Right, yeah. Rubber and blowing this early in the morning.
Paul,
marvellous.
Don't take it into the gutter, we're already there. So welcome and thank you for tuning in, all 71 of you. The numbers are going up. That's good. Good morning, Greta. Good morning, everybody, and 2 other people. Oh, that's the washing machine. I tell you, it's been a busy morning here. It's been a busy day yesterday. No rest for the wicked, as they say.
It's still singing.
It's nearly finished.
Yeah.
There we are, it's finished now.
Dee.
Yeah, so it's been a busy morning. Housework, washing, free cycling, people collecting. We may be disturbed at some point. I've got some wine coolers being collected and a small webcam.
And a flashy thing.
Oh, and some illuminated straps.
Yeah.
You know, the kind that you
that
wear
go
when
over
you're,
a rubber suit.
the kind that you wear when you're on a bike or running.
Reflectors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do keep it clean, Mark. Always clean.
Absolutely.
Goodness me.
Absolutely. Gosh.
So the reason why we're going live this week is simply because we are very busy and we're trying to fit stuff in. What are you doing, Paul?
I'm listening to you.
Oh, don't be... You're putting me off now, Paul. Go in the other room. What was I saying? Yeah, we're just trying to fit so much into the weekend. As many of you know who follow us, I used to be part-time in my job. And I went full-time in November to cover somebody that has left. And I tell you, trying to fit everything in at the moment into 2 days at the weekend is quite hard, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's quite difficult. And we continue to do the clear out of the house. So I said to Paul yesterday, look, we haven't got time to film. Let's just do a live show and everybody will be pleased.
And are they?
Well, 77 people with us at the moment.
But we don't know they're all pleased.
Are you pleased?
Are you all pleased?
I am sure you are.
We might come on to that later on, that topic of everybody being happy about things. Yeah.
What?
It's in the list.
Did you have to wear that old t-shirt today, Paul?
It's not an old t-shirt.
I think it is. It's looking rather faded now.
It's less old than my others that I wear more because I don't like brown, really.
Good. And
I'm warm. So there we are.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Rue's over the moon. And Rue's had a video up, haven't you, Rue? Just a short while ago. So do go over to Rue and have a look at that. Was it May Madness? Was it something? I think it was May Madness. Something like that.
I've not checked my notification this morning.
Mm.
So, welcome to Sunday Chat Live.
Sunday Chat!
Jesus, Mary Mother of God. Don't do it too loud, Paul.
I can never do it too loud.
The microphone is sensitive.
The microphone needs to learn. Yeah, microphone needs to learn.
Good. So I'm very glad that you're pleased that we're here. It's not often we do live chats these days. If you look back, I did live chats for almost a year, didn't I? Every week.
You did, yeah. Yeah, I did. I used to be adjudicating them while I slept on the sofa.
Paul, don't be ridiculous.
Oh yeah, March, not May. Did I say May Madness? Gosh, I'm ahead of myself, Rue. Yeah, totally.
So first of all, it's time for Richard and Paul's weather report from London.
It used to be called Londinium, didn't it? Yeah.
Cold,
grey,
damp,
breezy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is a little breezy today as well. Well done, Paul, for your observation. Yeah, it's just been so cold. And apparently next week is going to be even colder. Hurrah!
Particularly the nights.
Yeah.
It? I think we've been generally sort of 2 or 3 overnight and we're going down to -3 again. So, yeah.
With the potential for a small amount of snow. A snow flurry, as they call it.
Yeah. Sarah says it's blimmin' cold in Kent. I'm sure it is, Sarah.
Yeah, it's cold here too. And frankly, I'm just bloody sick of it.
Oh,
Really.
Could you go on?
I just can't go on. No. Yeah, winters for me used to be like, yay, winter, snuggling up, put the heating on, snuggling up, all nice and warm, put the heating on, hunker down. We'll
Watch a
get
black
through
and
the
white
winter.
movie.
Watch black and white movie on a Sunday afternoon,
Cup
and
of
everything's
tea.
lovely.
Biscuits, cake.
Now it's just permanently cold everywhere. One has to wear, one's getting through one's clothes extremely quickly. I noticed.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
wearing twice the amount of clothing in a week.
You were very generous yesterday, weren't you?
What? Me? Generous?
I had had a bath and I had put out this thermal to wear. I put it on the bed and I thought I'll put it on when I go out because we were going out for supper. And then you came and said, "Can I wear this thermal on the bed?" And I went, "Oh yeah, okay." But you didn't. You left it for me.
I left it for you, Paul. Yes, thank you for sharing that.
Oh,
with
kind
everybody.
and generous.
Well, it was kind and generous, and I was left cold all evening.
Were you? Oh, well, I'm glad I was wearing it then. Yeah.
This Stevie Weavy, this is an old Marks and Spencer's jumper.
M&S.
Yeah, it's quite old now and a little bit bobbly, but it does keep one warm.
Don't you have a bobble remover?
No, they're rubbish, those bobble removers. Bobble off or whatever they call them.
Bobble off.
Yeah, so are we, Sarah. We're fed up with winter. And, you know, I was hoping, maybe a vain hope, that it would get slightly warmer at the beginning of March, but it hasn't. And I don't know, I feel like it's some kind of big conspiracy.
I think it is, most
you know,
yeah.
between the gods of the weather and the big oil companies.
Well, actually, to be fair, it has been. It's been a conspiracy theory with the oil companies, particularly, and the gas companies since the early 1970s, when they knew their actions were actually going to bring about major climate change. So they knew that in the 70s, and they've just been deceiving us with spin doctors since.
Right.
It is.
What was that?
It was a thing.
It was a leaf. I thought it might have been a squirrel jumping across.
Not yet.
I was going to say something. Bobbles. So I do have a bobble pulling session occasionally with jumpers. I do. I will sit on the
You'll
chair,
sit down and pull your bobbles.
and I will sit and pull my bobbles.
Oh, how fabulous.
Because,
lovely.
you know, yeah.
Do you get enjoyment from pulling your bobbles?
I do like pulling the bobbles.
Oh, lovely.
It's a bit like the equivalent of popping bubble wrap.
Right, okay.
It's kind of a little bit like that, especially when you get a few in one go.
Yeah, when you get a handful of bobbles. Yeah. You like that.
I might do an ASMR and S&M video, not an S&M. Is it AMSR? ASMR?
I think it would be S&M video, yeah.
Pulling
not
the
M&S.
bobbles.
Yeah.
Pulling the bobbles.
Yeah, there we are.
So there we are. Yeah, well, your house is lovely and warm, Lucy.
Gosh,
because
that is.
That's hot as far as we're concerned, because our house hovers between 7 and 12
It's
indoors.
10.1 at the moment.
Yeah, 10.1 degrees C inside the house, which is, you know, yes, good morning, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
I'm glad your bobbles are good.
Yeah.
So yeah, weather, disappointing for early spring, because sometimes we do get a good week in February.
We had a really good week at the beginning of February. We had a relatively warm week, lots of sun. Yeah. I was working at the plot in 2 t-shirts and nothing else. Well, I had trousers on.
Well,
as
I should hope so, Paul.
Yeah, I have to keep your bobbles warm.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, Donna, that's the same here. About the same here. So, you know, but we're getting used to it.
Yeah.
We've acclimatized.
Yeah, when we open the fridge door now, it doesn't feel cold, does it?
I think it's amazing. Well, yeah, actually, I've opened the windows this morning because I wanted to blow through, because a neighbour of ours came to the door yesterday to collect something from us and said, "Oh, what are you cooking? It smells lovely." And we hadn't we'd had lunch 2 hours before, so I thought, well, the
Yeah.
house still smells of cooking smells. It needs a blow through. So I've got lemongrass and rosemary in the oil burners at the moment, freshening the house. I've done a little bit of housework too this morning.
Dog's water froze.
The dog's water froze in the house.
Actually,
Goodness me.
when I was managing the band and we lived in Limpsfield Chart, we used to wake up and the not only was the inside of the window frozen, but it had sort of dribbled overnight, and there was ice on the window sill.
Yeah,
window
we used to get that.
inside.
We used to get that as kids.
Yeah,
I know, we've had it here one night in that cold snap.
we did. Yeah,
Ice
we
inside.
did. Ice inside. Yeah,
Lovely, you
yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness me, Rue.
Ice off the shower curtain. Oh, Rue.
I mean, you know, joking aside, we've said this before, that, you know, if we were using the same amount of gas as we used last winter, we'd be paying like $1,500 a month to heat our home, which we simply can't afford. So as it happens now, we're paying over the odds to be cold, you know, in our own home, which is absolutely crazy. And I mean, what can you do? What can you do? So what I've done this morning is set a fire ready for this evening. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about, because fires are in the news. Now, I don't know whether you remember, but quite a while ago, I did a video about, hi Nancy, I did a video about setting a fire using natural firelighters and smokeless coal.
I remember that.
Yeah, so we do use smokeless fuel, but they're coming for us now.
Oh, are they?
They're coming for us now. They're coming for log burners, and they're measuring particulates in the air. Now, I agree with all of that, but the problem is when you back people into a corner and the only source of heat that you can afford is a coal fire, what are people supposed to do? You know? And our fires are minimal. They're just enough to warm this room just about. So it's not as though we're having roaring fires, kicking out bucket loads of smoke. And I agree with the particulate measurements. It should happen. I mean, you know, if you're walking around the area, especially a built up area with lots of buildings and lots of people, you do smell the coal fires and they do catch the throat, and you are inhaling particles that can potentially cause harm. So I agree with it, but if you back people into a corner, what are they supposed to do? You know? So it's a very difficult situation to be in.
Yeah.
We will continue to have our fires, but we're not bulk ordering any more coal now because we've done 3 bulk orders already.
Well, we're also hoping that we're at the end of this cold winter. You know, in a week's time, hopefully we'll be there. Yeah.
Really? I think that's rather optimistic, Paul.
I don't. I'm going to put my neck out and say I think from the middle of March it's going to be okay.
I think you should permanently put your neck out because you lost your double chins then, Paul. That's a good exercise. You're meant to do this. No, I don't need it. I'm 39. So, oh, didn't you realise, Marjorie? Well, we're live, completely live. We're not avatars or CGI. We are real.
That's interesting. I thought that, sorry, who was that? Gary. I thought that domestic oil was more expensive than gas. So I didn't realise that.
So I just want to say hello, Ukraine.
Oh,
we have somebody from the Ukraine here, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So that's the kind of weather and cold report over and done with for this week. One day I'll bring out a weather map.
Oh, marvellous. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that would be marvellous, Paul.
It would be marvellous. Green screen.
Do a green screen.
Yeah. So Stevie's got an air fryer. Who needs Fanny Craddock? Well, I've got many good stories about Fanny Craddock. She used to live in Guernsey.
She used to live in Guernsey, Paul. How fascinating.
My dad used to come home from work on the docks, and
I thought you were going to say from seeing Fanny.
No.
That would have been funny.
And he had very many stories about Fanny Craddock. Yes. There we are.
What kind of stories, Paul? Tell us one. Share one about Fanny.
Well, it was about when she was a little bit tipsy and fell down the gangplank and rolled to the bottom, and then just got up and carried on walking as if nothing had happened.
She was a trooper,
Yeah.
Fanny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so lovely.
I think someone said something. Who was it? Sarah M. I think they're talking now about the energy subsidy that we're getting as individuals being extended for another 3 months, which obviously would be good. However, it really frustrates me, this £66 a month that we get, because all it's doing is it's adding £66 per customer to energy companies' profits. That's what it's doing. Taxpayers' money is being used to give taxpayers a subsidy, but all that is doing is adding to the profit line of energy companies. And really what the government should be doing is saying, instead of paying 21p per unit for gas, that everyone actually pays 17p a unit, because that will reduce the bill for everybody and the gas companies won't make as much profit, which, seems right to me. But there we are. Magpie 14, domestic oil varies a lot. Yeah, I did think it did vary. So yeah. Anyway, there we are. I'm going to shut up about energy bills now.
Thank you so much, Paul. That was very informative, lovely. Super duper. So it has been a busy week. It was a busy day yesterday. I'm doing demon free cycling at the moment. It's like a full-time job.
Do you remember Demon Internet? We used to have Demon Internet.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I was talking about something else, Paul.
Mm.
So I'm going crazy free cycling. I've got a stream of things waiting to be picked up, and we may be disturbed during this live stream.
They are things we want to give away. He's not just picking things off. Oh, I'll free cycle that.
Well, I'm nearly there.
Well, yeah.
We've been through the kitchen cupboards as well.
Yes, I did that this morning, and then I put things out on the side and I said, do we want that? Do we want that? Do we want that? So we're getting rid of quite a few larger kitchen items that we don't use anymore.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Great. So, Paul, how has the working week been for you?
It's been a bit odd. I had a really good day on Tuesday with Vanessa. We were planting more fruit trees, mainly stone fruit trees, so plums and cherries and apricot, things like that. We did plant a couple of quince, which of course are seeds, and it was just a really lovely time. And Peter May came up from Brighton. He's a specialist in fruit trees and fruit tree growing and creating community orchards. And we had a great day with him. It was quite tiring though. It was quite tiring. But apart from that...
Yeah, because you said your arms ached a little bit.
Oh, they did.
And you couldn't go on.
I couldn't go. No, thankfully, Vanessa had got her gardeners, the gardeners that come to her place once a month, to dig the holes. So we didn't have to dig the holes. However, they had dug the holes about 3 foot deep, and we only needed them about 1.5 feet. So my first job was shoveling things back in and then tamping it down with my feet and making sure it was firm but loose. So yeah, it was a great day. It was a great day, and it didn't chuck it down with rain, which it did when we were planting all the trees last year. So that was good. But the rest of the week, I felt really lacking motivation, and I can't really put my finger on why. I do think we need to get over and see Mum. With the weather warming up, I'm hoping that we'll be able to do that, because Mum is saying, don't come over whilst the weather's cold, because we won't be able to go out as much.
Very true.
So, I just haven't been able to get motivated. I sit down to do things and I really, really struggle. And in fact, even going for a walk, I'm trying to go for a regular, good, pacey walk 3-4 times a week. And even that has been a real struggle.
Yeah.
There was one afternoon, I think it was Wednesday afternoon, I could quite easily have just sat here and watched a black and white movie, which of course is pleasant, but it's a work day. It's not going to bring in any money or further any work. So yeah, I mean, I understand one needs to take time out, but you can't take time out all the time. You need to keep things going.
That's very true, Anita. And also, what I find is doing housework when you're cold. I have to start off with, a few small jobs to start getting warmed up. But I've also found, if you bang your hand when your hands are cold,
Absolutely.
normally you sort of like, ow. When they're cold, when your hands are cold and you bang them, it's really painful. It just hampers a lot of things, and I don't want to be walking around the house with 3 pairs of gloves on and, stuff like that. I just want to get on. So yeah, the cold does hamper a lot of things. And also it makes me kind of feel quite angry that I'm cold, like I said before, in my own home. But like I said earlier, rubber gloves, they're good. They're good, yeah.
I do look forward to that full bodysuit though.
I
Yeah,
won't be
that'll
doing that,
interesting.
Paul. Don't get any ideas.
Anyway, how has your week been,
Well,
Richard?
Paul, thank you so much for asking me. I do appreciate that. My working week in social care, busy. We've got a few social workers who have left our team recently. We've got a social worker just gone on maternity leave. We've got a senior social worker on leave, which means our duty team, who I do a lot of work for, has been rather busy this past week. So my head has been in the computer for most of the week. Literally, I'm not joking. I don't move from that computer other than take a small break or meet and greet people in reception or go and tidy a meeting room, something like that.
Or unblock a toilet.
Or unblock a toilet, indeed. Yeah, jack of all trades at work. Yeah, it's been busy. It's been particularly busy this week. And I got to Thursday afternoon and I just thought, oh, I really could do the break now. And in fact, I did say to my boss, is there a possibility of me working from home on Friday afternoon? And she said, yeah, no problem. I got to Friday afternoon. I had too many things to do in the office. So I said, well, sod that.
Oh.
La collection, that was the doorbell. Ask them what they're collecting first, Paul. So bear with.
Hello. Wine coolers.
The wine coolers are being collected. How lovely. Those are those gel ones that you put in the freezer.
No problem. Thank you.
Lovely.
Bye.
That's another thing off the list. Wonderful. Excellent, Paul. Great. Super duper. So yeah, just a busy time. Trying to do things in the evenings I find quite hard because when I get in from work, I build the fire, set that going, and then I just really want to sit in front of the fire and either read or watch TV, We do have heat at work, Lucy. We do have heat at work. That is a benefit to being at work. Although I have to say, I do put a fan on because it gets to a certain point and I get too warm. So I like air to circulate. It's on a small setting.
Right.
A little gentle breeze setting. And I do tend to open windows at work as well. So
you used to open the windows here as well. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I do because I like an air through, Paul. I've told you that already. Anyway, so that was the working week for you. What else is on the list? What has been in the news this week, Paul?
Well, quite a lot, really. What has been in the news this week, Richard?
I just realised you got all the light.
Yeah. I've also look. It all looks. I shaved yesterday. I seem to have grown hair quite a lot. Look.
So yes, what has been in the news this week? Positive news stories or silly news stories? I'll kick off.
Right, okay.
So in the news this week, the sacred oils that are used to anoint the king at the coronation have been blessed. I mean, just spray some Chanel and be done with it. I mean, for me, the sacred oils of perfumery are Chanel.
Yeah.
I mean, if
yeah.
it's good enough for me, it's good enough for the king. Apparently, when they did the coronation of the Queen was shielded behind a screen when she was anointed with the precious sacred oils.
I mean, it's just ludicrous.
I mean, this is like something out of some kind of fantasy
Yeah. Yeah.
story, like Lord of the Rings or something, isn't it? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It's mad.
The only thing that they've said this week about the sacred oils is they'll no longer be using any animal products like the glands of the civet cat.
Were they using that?
Or
Was she squeezing civet
ambergris, which of course is the vomit of a whale, isn't it?
I know it's a tradition, Anita, but it's really an unnecessary tradition.
It's
isn't
weird.
It?
It's just weird
odd.
now to
It's
hear
just
those
odd.
things. Yes, and look, I think some traditions are lovely. I really do. And, I know this is deeply embedded in Britain's traditions. I understand that. But it's just a bit weird.
I mean, I'm a great supporter of the royal family. I mean, I'm not negative about the royal family. I think it does a huge amount for the UK, and the coronation will be a huge thing. But really, in this day and age, all of that about anointing things, and I mean, really. And the thing is, what got me. So this all happened on was it the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem? This oil was being created and prayed over and made, and then the person that was involved sort of said that the whole world would be rejoicing around these oils being anointed on the King of England. And what really gets me now is when people say things like the whole of the world will be doing X, or all of England is behind the England team to win this. And, because actually it's not true. It's not true. It's simply
no, but
not
they're trying
true.
to rally everybody around, aren't they? They're trying to whip up a frenzy.
But it's just mad, Yes, there'll be an awful lot of people supporting England and Scotland, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Wales, in, whatever country in what they're doing. But the whole of the country isn't going to be behind people. I don't really care if the England team wins. If it does, great, super. But we don't have to be, the whole world and the whole country doesn't have to be behind something to make it special. It's really. Oh, Stevie, yes, anointing roast potatoes with olive oil. I do agree with that.
Oh, roast potato! I dream of roast potatoes.
We do.
We're just not putting the oven on.
We were at a friend's for supper last night,
Yeah.
and she had cooked some apple tarts, individual apple tarts, and I said to her, "Ooh, did you put the oven on?" Yes, I did. And that is like such a special occasion, isn't it? That's
risky.
Something to celebrate.
It's risky putting that oven on, I tell you.
Yeah.
So we've got 149 people watching at the moment. That's absolutely wonderful. I just want to say a big, big thank you to all of you for following us on all of our platforms. I nearly forgot what I was saying then. On all of our platforms, Instagram, Facebook, our Facebook group, Planet Vegetaria. That's a Facebook group by Richard and Paul. Richard and Paul since 2017, that's contractual. And of course, our supporters on Coffee, who buy us a coffee to support us, which is wonderful. And of course, on Twitter. I don't use Twitter, don't see the point. And also on Paul's platform, Medium.
Yeah. And there'll be a new, again, because I've been lacking motivation. I've been coming up with lots of ideas, but not happy with anything that I've written. But there's something which is going to be up next week, so hopefully you'll see it then. Whether you're a paid member or not on Medium, you'll be able to read it. Yeah.
So in other news this week, Paul and I have introduced a new, what's the word? Routine.
Have
a
we?
new routine into our lives of an evening.
Oh, yes.
So I bet you're dying to know what this new routine is. It's playing Scrabble after dinner. It is. We're playing Scrabble after dinner every evening.
Yeah.
We've enjoyed it, haven't we?
I've enjoyed it.
The reason being is in the clear out, we found a set of Scrabble and we said, let's start playing of an evening. So we are. Thank you.
Yeah. But we've been doing quite well. There was the last game we played. We didn't play last night because we were out, but on Friday night, that was quite a challenging game, wasn't it, for both of us? At the beginning, Richard had all consonants and I had all vowels virtually. And then it sort of span around that I had all the consonants and he had all the vowels. And we got a lot of very short words, didn't we?
Yeah,
It
but
wasn't
you
a
know,
long word game.
sometimes those short words, if they fall on a triple word score,
Absolutely.
they can be quite beneficial.
Yeah, 29 points I think you got on one of them. Yeah.
24.
24 was it?
I can see the scores
Oh.
from yesterday. Look, you see? Scrabble scores.
Yeah, and we don't add them up at the end, do we?
No, we're not competitive. I can usually tell if I've won.
Yeah.
So, Paul, we've been on the air now for 36 minutes, and this is the point where if you want to ask us any questions...
Question.
Les questions, se voulez-vous?
We're going a bit into ABBA then.
La question, se voulez-vous?
Yeah, there we are.
Which is an ABBA lyric.
Yeah.
So
that's why it should be ABBA Voyage, you
no,
see.
it's Voyage, Paul. ABBA Voyage. It was mentioned earlier. Stevie Weavy said he's seen it 4 times.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, I'd love to go again. We just cannot legitimately pay out that kind of money at the moment.
At the moment, yeah. Yeah, maybe once we've moved and we've sort of come back into London, we might be able to do that.
I would love to see it again.
Or as a passing treat, maybe. We'll see.
I would love to see it again. Hello, Daniel in Australia. Welcome. Okay, so we've got some questions. John, have we decided on a location to move? We're hoping to move. We really would like to end up in North Wales. That's what we would like to do. I have a few properties saved and I'm keeping my eye on them, although we can't do that until this property goes on the market and we've got some potential buyers for this property. There would be no point. So yeah, we need to move by August. It needs to be done and dusted by August. Yeah. So that's the answer to that. So hold on, let's just go back. Hello, Guru. Hello, Guru Mafinda of Little Farmers Farm. We do think it will be Wales. Richard, have I met David Hoyle? No, I've never had the pleasure, unfortunately. I'd love to meet him.
And yes, Anita, I can tell, yes.
What happened to your car? Well, we've still got the car for Nella. She's still fine.
I think the thing is, we don't mention it so much because, of course, now Richard is back to full time. We're not going out on a Thursday or Friday like we used to. So we drive to Kew or we drive up into the Chilterns and have a walk. And we're not doing that at the moment. So I think it's just that we haven't. But I used Fenella on Tuesday to go down to Vanessa. And yeah, she's grand.
She's doing fine.
She's grand.
Yes, we will, Rue. We'd love to come for a cuppa when we move up. Do we listen to the radio? Paul does.
I do. I listen to Radio 4. I really like Radio 4. And when I'm making lunch for Richard, you know, warming soup up or whatever, I usually listen to, whatever's on between sort of like 12:30 and 1 o'clock before he comes home.
Okay.
So yeah.
Where did we sit in ABBA Voyage? Tony, we were fortunate enough to sit in Block H, right in the centre, sort of, I think, a third of the way up. So it was absolutely fantastic seats. From the center, you can see the whole arena, and you can also see the symmetry of the show in terms of the effects, the lighting effects. So I enjoyed that.
And I think you get a really good perspective of quite the huge size of that wrap screen as well. So yeah.
Any particular area in North Wales? Well, we would prefer to be in the Snowdonia region, or perhaps down near the coast in the Barmouth region. Hello, Vicky. Thank you for that.
Dallas. That's where JR lived, wasn't it?
Dallas. Yeah, I used to love Dallas. Oh, wow. Dallas was one of my favourite shows with Sue Ellen. I loved Sue Ellen. I wanted to be Sue Ellen, even though she was a lush in the gutter.
Jane, I've just picked up the book that you sent me I think it might have even been like 18 months, 2 years ago. The one, something, Four Hedges, I think it was called. So I've just got that off the shelf, and I'm going to be reading that next. So I'm looking forward to that.
So Coffee, am I still doing my sewing? Yes, I still do sewing, but it's mainly repairs at the moment that I'm doing.
Are you going to do my turn-ups?
Yeah, I will do. Thank you very much.
You see, Alison, I find some of the comedies on Radio 4 at 6:30, particularly, I listen to them again when I'm making the evening meal. I'll usually listen to Radio 4 then, but I find some of them really quite challenging, particularly on a Tuesday.
So doing a live from the plot, Paul, would you do a live from the plot? It's difficult with the signal, isn't it, sometimes down there?
I think I most probably could do a live from the plot. Maybe it's something I could think of doing before we move.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Will we be far from Vivi? Well, we will be far from Vivi, but we will be keeping in touch with Vivi, and we will still visit each other. So near the Tittington Smiles. Yes.
Very.
Yes. In fact, I have had news from the Tittington Smiles. They are currently in their Welsh country estate at the moment. We were unable to join them on this occasion because we're doing stuff here. So we just simply can't afford the time at the moment. Paul,
do I work full time? Yes, I sort of do, Debbie, because I've only got 2 clients now, so a lot of my theatrical work has gone by the by since the pandemic. But then I'm doing the writing. I'm writing for Guernsey. I'm also planning what I'm going to be doing for the Japanese newspaper, which is now moved back 6 months. And then of course there's the Week at the Plot videos, you know, because that is work as well, because we do earn a small income from that as well. So yes, it would be, there's a few other things going as well. So yeah.
Thank you, Nancy. We appreciate that.
What did Nancy say? Oh yes.
Best of luck with the move. Will we get cats for our new home? It's a good question, Lucy. Thank you. I don't know at the moment.
Well, the answer is no at the moment, isn't it?
Well, we won't know until we get there. What I like the idea of are cats from other homes visiting us in the garden and perhaps popping in for a bite to eat occasionally. So we don't have the responsibility of looking after animals, because it's a big responsibility and it's a heartache. It's a big stress. And I'm not sure I really want that stress again in my life.
We've had it many, many, many times. So, yeah. Thank you, Stevie. That's great. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree, Jane. Yeah.
Geraldine, thank you for that question. It's a really good question. So far, they're coming up, but I'm not getting any flowers. I haven't inspected.
You've got 6 out today.
Oh, have I?
Daffodils.
Yeah, but they're tete-a-tete, the
They're
small
tete-a-tete,
ones.
yeah.
No, the ones I planted in October, Paul. I don't know whether they're going to be successful because they're coming up blind, which is really disappointing. And there's no sign of the tulips. And I planted, I think, something like 150 bulbs,
Yeah.
something like that. So really disappointed. But the blossom trees are starting, which is good.
Mm.
So, you know,
Well, fingers
gardening,
crossed, they may come,
gardening, who'd do it?
but I think if they don't, I think we'll be writing to Lidl. Yeah.
Absolutely. Knots Landing. Yeah, I used to watch Knots Landing. Will we have acreage? Perhaps if we can find a property with a large garden. We don't want too much acreage, just enough for growing space and to have some nice views and perhaps a small woodland area, something
Yeah.
like that.
Or if we end up with 50 acres, that would be great. Yeah. Learning disabilities once a week.
Lovely.
That's great, Sarah. That's really, I'm sure you'll benefit from that hugely. Absolutely.
Yeah, Lolly, I think cats do seek you out. We have a number of cats that visit the garden that we occasionally pet. And, the odd one pops in and says hello during the summer. Yeah.
I realised the other day, I think it was the other month actually, that I wave at more cats on a daily basis than people, which I think is quite a good balance, really. Yeah.
Carol, who are the most famous people that we've both met and liked? Well,
I've met the Queen.
Paul
I liked her.
Paul has met more famous people than I have.
Madonna, liked her.
Yeah. Judi Dench.
Judi Dench.
You got on with Judi Dench well.
Yeah. I mean, Jessica Lange. I mean, lots of people in theatre. In fact, we came across a silver $50, is it, in that champagne cork, which I was given when An Ideal Husband that I was working on closed on Broadway in 1996, and Martin Shaw put the silver dollar into the champagne cork, and the champagne, which was Moet and Chandon, was bought by
Martin Shaw's a British actor.
A British actor, yeah. Was bought by Michael Dennison and Dulcie Gray, who were in the play.
Martin Shaw was most well known for The Professionals on television in the 70s and 80s.
And has worked since.
And has done a lot of work, but he started off. The most famous person I've met and liked, I met Chita Rivera once when she was starring in Kiss of the Spider Woman at the Shaftesbury Theatre. My friend was doing the marketing for the show with Ticketmaster and took me one day to visit her backstage in her dressing room. She was lovely.
Brilliant,
really nice.
Brilliant musical that. We loved it. We saw it several times.
Are we going to do podcasts? We have done podcasts in the past. We may pick it up in the future.
Yeah.
It depends. Time is the enemy at the moment, if you like. We just don't have time.
Vivi is famous, absolutely. She was obviously when I said Queen, I meant Vivi. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Count Arthur Strong.
Hello, Natalie.
Oh yes, somebody was going to a cat cafe, weren't they? I saw that earlier. Yeah.
Reva's mum, crochet. I haven't got a crochet project on the go. I haven't got any projects on the go other than clearing out
the house
and getting rid of stuff we don't need and don't want. That is the project. There is no other time for anything else other than building in relaxation time in the evening, which is important to both of us.
Would you go back to crochet or would you go back to knitting?
I would like to try crochet again. I mean, I've seen some people who crochet these amazing things, in wonderful sort of patterns. And so I love all of that. And I love knitting as well. But the problem with me is, I know this sounds really weird, but I'm not very good at counting. So I know you can get those little markers that you use to count. And one of my friends is a knitting whiz. Absolute knitting whiz. She's amazing. And she writes, everything down and she's really detailed with it. I'm a bit slapdash. So I need to learn patience and I need to learn how to just take my time and learn how to count.
Going back to Radio 4, there was a very interesting segment on Tuesday morning about the woman who had knitted the jumpers for that film that has been very famous at the moment, won awards, the Something of Inishmaan or something. It's an Irish film, and it had the woman who'd done the jumpers, and she was talking about, what's the most difficult thing, and she said counting is the most difficult.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've seen those jumpers. They're really, really difficult.
Okay, so Coco and B, can we do a live with Vivi? That would be amazing. Well, again, look, this is a time thing. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but to get over to Vivi, even by car, it takes about an hour and a quarter. And when we get there at Vivi and vice versa, we like to sort of spend time together catching up, talking about our stuff. So to fit a live in as well, it's a time thing. We haven't seen Vivi for ages,
Yeah,
but
far too long.
We're in touch, obviously, by phone and internet.
And of course, there are several lives that have been done with Vivi that have gone down in the annals of time.
Well, there weren't several, Paul. We did one.
Two.
We did another pre-record.
No, we did the one when we first visited Vivi. We did that one when you
we
and
were
Vivi
drunk.
were quite merry.
Yeah.
And then we did another one on Valentine's Day a few years ago.
No, that was a pre-record. Wasn't a live.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a pre-record. Right. Okay. Craig, no, again, time. I don't have time to do any music at the moment. Doing music is an absolute luxury for me.
And headspace.
And, well, I like to give myself a good few hours to do music because, you sort of go on a creative journey. I use a program called FL Studio Producer Edition. So, yeah.
Fruity Loops.
It used to be Fruity Loops, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Gardener's Question Time. It's not, when's it on, Roo? It's not something I usually listen to. I usually miss it.
Okay. Oh, here's another pickup. Bear with us. Am I going to do a cooking show?
Hello there.
I will be doing cookery at some point. But again, it's time. It's time. It's fitting that in. Okay. Hold on. Fred Frog Instant Pot is wonderful. We use it for a lot of cooking. Paul's the expert with the Instant Pot. Okay. Yeah, Tony, we could do that. Marissa, what will we miss about our current location? Having the accessibility to shops, to transport, to the local hospital, that's what we will miss. Okay. John, you're very kind. Thank you very much. Yeah, we did, Donna. We did a two-part question time with Vivi. Absolutely. What camera do I use? I use an Olympus EM1.
Oh.
Yeah, Paula, it's true. Creativity does have to go on the back burner, but there'll be plenty of time in the future for that.
Yeah.
Playing the drums, excellent, Alison. Yeah, it was. Yes, we did.
We did do another one.
That was the second one.
That was the second one.
Thank you.
That's right, Kathy.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you very much for all those questions. Thank you. Lovely.
And of course, I could find Gardener's Question Time on BBC Sounds, couldn't I?
Could you?
Yeah, because I listen through the app, which I think I don't listen on the radio. I listen on my phone through the app. So yeah.
So was that your lady for all the things you cleared out this morning?
Absolutely.
That's another load of stuff gone.
Yeah.
Kitchen stuff gone. Marvellous.
And it's great because this lady, her son is a trainee doctor in Southampton. So we
She's
know
had
that they're
loads
going.
of stuff.
She has, yeah, particularly interested in kitchen stuff because he and several friends have got a house together, house share. So that's great. Yeah.
Thank you, Debbie. Good morning to you too. So, Lucy, one of the reasons for moving up north is I really want to be nearer to my sisters and my family because I don't see them often enough. We're all getting older. And as we get older, the need for a support system becomes a little greater. So I think family need to use each other as support systems if they get along, which we do. So, okay.
And in terms of getting to Guernsey, it will be more difficult to get to Guernsey from North Wales, but we can fly from Manchester Airport
or Liverpool.
Or Liverpool, yeah.
Or Birmingham.
No. But there's more flights from Manchester.
Or Birmingham.
I know, but there needs to be flights from somewhere to Guernsey to be able to get there.
Oh, Paul, you're so clever.
I know. You can't just get to an airport and go, oh, I want to go to Guernsey. No, you can't do that. Look at your face. Oh, what's been said?
So Rue's off. Bye, Rue.
Bye, Rue. TV this week. I think that's another segment, isn't it?
Okay.
Now we've done the questions.
So everybody finished with your questions. Is that it for the questions?
Is that it?
Bye, Rue.
Done? Bye, Rue.
Good. So we've got 168 people watching.
Aww,
what an
how
audience.
lovely.
That's a small, intimate theatre. Isn't it?
Why does it have to be intimate?
It's a small burlesque show. Yeah. Don't start taking your clothes off, Paul. So lovely. You couldn't think of one, Stevie Weavy. Well, that's fine. No problem at all.
No problem, Stevie.
I almost went in an Australian accent then, Paul.
Well, you have now, didn't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
I did have a knitting machine once. It was a manual knitting machine and I never used it. So again, we free cycled it.
We free cycled it back. Yeah.
There we are.
Right.
You will be able to. It will.
Yeah.
What happens once the stream ends? It uploads the full program to YouTube. So yeah, you will be able to. Don't worry. Okay, Sarah. Take care. Thanks for joining us.
Okay. Right. What have been? Who asked? Because there was that question.
Paul.
Did you get that person's name?
I know.
We are, Reva. Reva's mum.
We're moving on to the final segment of the show. Paul.
Sunday chat.
Oh, Jesus, Mary, Mother of God. What was the saying? Yeah. What have we watched on television this week, Paul?
And yes, Reva, we did start watching Unforgotten.
So let's kick off with Unforgotten. Yeah, it was good. What?
I just said we watched Unforgotten, and then you say let's kick off with Unforgotten. I just kicked off.
Well, Paul,
you kicked off twice.
I think you'll find I give it a little bit more style and panache.
I'm sure you do. At the age of 39, it's easier. Yeah.
39. I've gone prematurely grey.
Yeah, you're premature, certainly.
I'm one of God's blondes now, naturally platinum. Anyway, yeah, Unforgotten. So, of course, Nicola Walker's character died. Oh,
in the last
in
one.
The last show. Well, if you
in
haven't
the last
seen
series,
that, then
yeah.
You know. So she's been replaced by a right old bitch, I tell ya.
With a heart of gold, clearly.
Yeah, she's going to turn out to be nice. So yeah, really gripping and gritty. Gritty gripping and...
gritty and gripping.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something else that rhymed with that, but I just couldn't quite think of it.
I think what disappointed me is I'm sure I remember Unforgotten used to be run on 2 nights. So it's a 2 hours, 2 1 hour episodes. And I'm sure they did it Monday, Tuesday. And they seem to be running it weekly now. So we'll see the second one tomorrow.
So we can't binge.
Yeah.
Sadly. But yeah, that was really good. Worth a watch.
Jeremy Clarkson, couldn't possibly watch him, such a grotesque person.
No,
but
I'm
there
sorry,
we are.
Clarkson.
Yeah.
No, we're not fans of him.
No.
Okay, what else have we watched? Picard. We continue with Picard, and it continues to be fantastic.
So yes, Fred Frog, that is one thing that you've watched that we adore. Yeah, absolutely adore.
What?
And I think Picard. Yeah.
Picard, yeah.
And
fantastic.
Worf, the new character Worf came
Don't
in.
tell people, Paul, that's a spoiler.
And such a brilliant intro. Such a
Well,
brilliant
he's not a new
intro.
character.
No, new character in Picard.
He's from the Doodah, the La
From the
La.
Doodah La La Land.
Next Generation.
Yeah.
Next Generation. So love it. I love it because the characters are just so well formed already, you know, and the new characters that have joined the show are so complex. They've all got excellent backstories. So there are layers of complexity to the characters that are constantly being revealed. And some characters get these amazing challenges, and they touch on so many different subjects that connect with real life as well, like addiction, like abuse. You know, there's all sorts of stuff in there. It's such a well-written story. So just great. Love it.
So apparently, Sarah and Lolly has said that all of Unforgotten is on ITVX, so it can be watched on ITVX.
Oh, so we can binge.
So we can binge.
Or do we want to binge, Paul?
But the only thing with ITVX, and you know, I'm glad there are advertisers out there, is that you have to then watch the adverts on ITVX, don't you? Where we normally record and skip through.
Yeah.
So if a program starts at 8 o'clock, we normally start watching it about, if it's on ITV or an advertising channel.
It does sound like a porn channel, doesn't it?
ITVX. ITV Hub was so good, I thought. It sounded right. Yeah. But yeah, we start watching about 20 minutes into something and then skip all the adverts.
Yeah, so did we talk about the final Vera episode? Yes, we did, because she was put into some peril.
Jeopardy
peril, which is good. So, well, we watch more TV in the winter, I think.
Yeah,
We do like to relax of an evening, but the reason we've started doing the Scrabble is to do something a little bit different in the evening as well.
And also to get the brain going.
Yeah. Sorry, my nose is a bit running. You can tell it's cold in this room. My nose is running.
We're going to have soup later.
We're going to have soup.
And your nose will run then.
My nose will run during the warm meal.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, gosh, reaching 39 really does have its drawbacks.
It does, yes.
I can't imagine how it feels to be nearly 60, Paul.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's carry on with the TV. We watched the movie Mary Poppins Returns.
Mary Poppins.
Well, I just thought it was all a bit weird.
When you fell asleep?
I fell asleep just after they'd gone into that pot.
Yeah.
They travelled into the pot.
I quite enjoyed it. I don't get the guy who was playing the Lantern Man, Jack. I find his voice whiny.
Oh, he has got a whiny singing voice. There's nothing rich and chocolatey about it, like mine.
You know, been hugely successful.
Well, yeah, he was in His Dark Materials.
Yeah. And I thought in Dark Materials, I liked his acting in that. I think he was fine in that. But yeah, I didn't really.
Whiny voice. She had a very strange accent. Any words with an OUT in them sounded Canadian, I felt. She wasn't doing received pronunciation all of the time. So I don't feel she nailed the character. The children were annoying. The children, I can always compare children's performances to the one with Emma Thompson.
Nanny McPhee.
Nanny McPhee. The children in Nanny McPhee are excellent.
Yeah.
Absolutely excellent. That's how children performances should be measured.
They're better films, actually.
Yeah, and I think the Nanny McPhee films are Mary Poppins-like, but I prefer the Nanny McPhee character to this new Mary Poppins. And also they had Nanny McPhee films have got this
Charm.
real charm and heart to them, that do sort of bring a little sort of tear. Whereas the Mary Poppins didn't make me feel nostalgic at all. Just didn't do it for me. It just didn't have that edge
And it
that
did.
it should have had.
It did feel as though they had just looked at Mary Poppins, analysed what had worked, because of course that was incredibly successful, and then sort of duplicated it as well with different characters, you know. So
But
yeah,
it was far
there
too
we are.
long. It was just far
Anyway,
too long.
moving on. We haven't seen Saving Mr. Banks, but I do hear that's good.
Well, why on earth did we watch Mary Poppins? Because we'd recorded it. I was curious because I'm a big Mary Poppins fan of the original film. I loved it as a child. It holds a lot of childhood memories for me. I loved Julie Andrews. I was a big Julie Andrews fan. I'm a big fan of the soundtrack. So I was curious, and I really wanted to see what they'd done.
But instead, you fell asleep halfway through. Yeah,
I did.
There we are.
Yeah.
We watched on, was it Netflix? We Have a Ghost, which was really good.
Hold on, can we just finish this? Mama's Oasis allotment. Have we seen Saving Mr. Banks? No,
I've spoken about
I've
that.
not seen it. Well, I didn't say anything.
Well, no, you didn't need to say anything because
Paul,
I
when
said
you-
it.
when you
I
talk, I
said it.
tune
I said
out.
it. I know.
I don't listen
know.
to what you're
you
saying.
do that all the
I
time.
don't even know you're here.
You do
Who is
that
this
all the
person?
time. I'll say, oh, I'm going to the allotment in about an hour. And then when I go to the allotment in an hour, he's like, where are you going? I'm going to the allotment.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So, blah, 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 two other things.
Yes.
Yeah.
We Have a Ghost.
So, We Have a Ghost on, was it Netflix?
I think it was Netflix.
That was quite good.
Enjoyed that. I enjoyed it.
It was all right.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good fun.
It was
and
alright.
it was, it's about this family that move into a house, and guess what? It has a ghost. And it sort of takes it all into the sort of social media realm. That's where it is,
Yeah.
and about exploiting things, and how maybe going into being famous isn't necessarily what you want.
I didn't think the Jennifer Coolidge character had enough airtime.
No. But she's fabulous, isn't she? Whatever she's in, she's fabulous.
We also started the new series of Endeavour as well.
Yeah.
And again, I fell asleep at the end, so I've got to watch the end of that episode again.
Yeah. I mean, really good. We're getting all the angst coming in now. And we at the end of the last series, Endeavour was going off to a sort of non-drinking clinic thing, and then
a non-drinking clinic thing.
Yeah, you know, to get him
Rehab.
off being an alcoholic.
Rehab.
Yeah, an alcoholic. And now we're back, and he finds something out, and things spiral again. So it will be interesting, because I think there's only 3 episodes left. It's a 4-episode series, I think. So that will take us up to effectively where it would be for Morse. Yeah.
And we watched the movie White Noise with, what's his name? Adam Driver, is it? That was an odd one, because...
It was bizarre.
And I'll tell you for why. I actually can't remember any of it.
You can't.
Apart from the end.
I told him what happened, and we were watching I was showing him the trailer. This was like an hour ago, showing it, and he was going, "Oh yeah, I do remember that." Yeah,
I can't remember any of it at all. I don't know why.
But we did enjoy it, but we thought that the end titles were excellent.
But this brings up a little subject that I won't spend too much time talking about. But some of the films now are so jam-packed full of stuff and plots and effects and different camera angles and God knows what, that actually you struggle to remember what's actually happened in the film, because it's all so fast and crazy. So I do find that some of these films are a little bit like a sort of sensory overload.
Everything,
Which-
everywhere, all at once was a bit the same.
That was,
wasn't
I mean,
it?
that's meant to be a sensory
Yeah.
overload because it reflects the storyline and the title. And maybe white noise does too.
I think it's sort of
Maybe
chaos.
it's
Yeah.
meant to be that way.
Yeah, I think it is.
But what's the point if you can't retain what happens? I suppose that's where multiple watching comes in.
Well, I said to you at the
You
end,
know.
actually, I think it would do with could do with a second watching of it.
I-
But life is too short.
But who's got time to rewatch a film again that you've just watched?
Well,
you
we
know?
do watch Murder, She Wrote 50,000 times, don't we?
And we did watch Schitt's Creek 3 times.
Yeah, or we have watched Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, so
we will watch it a fourth.
I suppose one does, but it's you do that because you have those moments that you enjoy, that you have retained, because they're significant and because their scripts are worth remembering. A joke is worth remembering and worth retaining, so you can chat about it and have those moments of pleasure again and laugh and so
You're going to laugh.
So we've watched the usuals, and for those of you who do follow us, you will know what the acronyms are. So we've watched FB, R&T, QT, DD, and MSW.
What are they? Yeah, we enjoy it. So Father Brown is running new episodes. So yeah, we enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah.
That was a lot of bikers involved in the last one, wasn't it?
Rosemary and Thyme.
Yeah.
Question Time, Dragon's Den, and Murder, She Wrote. Yeah.
We've also watched or continued watching, because we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, Sophie Grigson's Life in Italy, A Slice of Italy, I think it's called. And I have I've finished reading her book about her time in Puglia. Doesn't really mention an awful lot about her move to Puglia and why she did, other than she wanted an adventure. But it was a good read, and it was quite interesting. It's the first time I've sort of read a book at the same time as seeing the TV series. So it was quite interesting because the TV series does follow the pattern of the book. Were there many recipes in there that I would do? Not a huge amount, but it's interesting that because we're now vegetarian, things with meat and fish, we sort of tend to fast forward through. I'm interested in the flavor combinations that they're doing with those things, but I'm not interested in actually watching the cooking of those
some
things.
of the breads.
Oh, breads, yeah.
So that focaccia. She did this marvelous focaccia with tomatoes on top, and that looked divine.
Yeah, lots of
It was like a
olive oil.
focaccia pizza.
Yeah.
Wasn't it, Paul? Yes, it was.
It was.
It was. So I think we're coming up to 1 hour 12 on the air now. So we're getting to that point where we're going to start saying goodbye.
Yeah, Lucy, a good story does stick in your head. Yeah. And actually, it's an interesting comment that Stephen King made when I was listening to a podcast a couple of weeks ago. He said about notebooks for writers, because most writers have notebooks. And he was saying he does have a notebook, but actually, if the idea is good enough, it stays in your head. And I thought that was a really interesting thing to say. So, yeah, I was pleased to read that.
Unless you drink half a bottle of gin just after thinking of the idea.
Or it doesn't. Yeah, I see it's staying in your head. Yes, I get it. Yeah.
Okay. So
I haven't had a gin for years.
No, I know. So, lovely. We're going to start saying goodbye now, because that process tends to take quite a while.
Oh, now Siggy, Mandalorian 3rd series. I've just got to the end of my contract on a mobile phone, so I have to renew that, and with that comes 3 months of Disney. So we'll be watching Mandalorian. So we'll be talking about that in the coming weeks, certainly.
Lovely. So, what remains
I'll give a thumbs up to Gillian, actually.
Thank you,
Thank you,
You're
Gillian.
very kind.
Yeah.
We've had 77 thumbs up on this. That's lovely.
Yeah, I think, Anita, I think taking a notebook everywhere is really good. I take my phone everywhere. So I have an app called Keep Notes, which is a Google app.
You can dictate into that.
You
as
can
well,
dictate
can't you?
into that. So if I'm on the
Yes.
walk and I think of something, then I'll use my mobile phone and make a text note or an audio note. But I very often, if I've got a bag, I'll have a notebook with me as well. Yeah.
So it just remains to say thank you from both of our bottoms of our hearts. To say thank you for joining us on this live show.
Sunday chat. I just Rue put it, so I had to say Sunday chat. Caroline just said it as well, you see. Yeah.
Good. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. We do appreciate your support. It genuinely means a lot to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
That we have so many lovely fans. And I don't think we had any trolls today, Paul, did we?
No, just you.
Yeah. Shut up. We're going to have a lovely cup of tea or coffee now, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll have a coffee.
To propel us into the next stage of free cycling and chores and things.
Those reflectors are still to pick up.
Yeah, well, they're late.
We had another person yesterday, didn't we, who said, I'll pick something up at 1:30. Then about an hour and a half later said, oh, I'll be there in half an hour.
Rude.
And then didn't turn up at all.
So rude.
You know, unbelievable.
Some
there
people.
We are.
So bloody thank you for joining us. Yeah, all right. God, you're frightening me now.
That's all the kisses for the year.
So, thank you, John. Thank you, Coffee. Thank you, MJ. Thank you, Stevie Weavy.
And thank you, Ukraine. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce.
No, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name.
Is it Aoife? Aoife, maybe?
I don't know.
Maybe.
But thank you so much for supporting us, joining us today, and just generally being lovely people.
Well, thank you for being lovely, Richard.
Oh, shut up. So we're going to say goodbye now. I always forget how to end. Oh, there it is. There's the doodah in the
Bye, Calvin.
Bye, Calvin the cat.
That's a great name, isn't it?
Have a good time at the plot, Linda. Enjoy it.
I've got. I'm off to the plot after lunch to do the final segment of A Week at the Plot, which will be up tomorrow, obviously.
Thank you, Kaz.
Thank you all.
Have a good week yourselves. We're saying goodbye now.
Bye, Caroline. Bye, Siggy.
Caroline.
Bye,
Thank
all.
You, Siggy. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much. We're going to press end now.
Yes, Reva is doing.
I'm going to.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Jane. Thank
Goodbye.
you, Jane.
I'm going first. Thank you, Jane, for joining us. Goodbye.
Bye, all.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Fred Frog.
Bye.
Bye, Vixter. Come on, get your goodbyes in now. Come on.
Bye.
There we are.
We could go and have our coffee.
Bye.
Come back.
Bye.